thermal sound wave.
It's thermal sound waves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. We here, C.Truth, Kev Lawrence. That's what it is. We got a brother that's joining us right now on the program. He's been here before. Does a lot of things in the world of music, hip hop, arts.
Wow.
The whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? Renaissance man. Does his thing and also helps out the kids. You know what I mean? So
that's beautiful.
We love having people on the show that does those type of things.
Deterrent.
Yes, indeed.
Deterrent.
We got none other than Substantial joining us right now on the program. You know what I'm saying? Straight out the DMV. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And that does not stand for driver motor vehicle.
Thanks for having me, family.
No problem. Yes, indeed. So I know you got some joints out and stuff like that on the music tip, but we really want to holler at you about what you've been doing as far as like music and arts and programs and education and things like that, because I don't think enough artists get credit, and just people in general get credit when they do those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Which is extremely important to the world and to the future.
Right. Yeah. Man, I appreciate it. I've been working in education for almost the entire time I've been putting out music professionally. Back when I was working with Nujabest in like 99, early 2000, we would have conversations all the time about the youth work I was doing too, and the kids I worked with. So it's been a grip. Currently, I work with a couple of organizations. One is Omega School. They are Omega Studios, and then they have a school for the recording arts. And so basically what I do with them is I work with young adults, teaching them about the music industry. I teach two courses with them, one about digital distribution, and then another course that talks about dynamic promotion techniques. And so they're kind of like lectures, almost like 4-hour lectures that I give quarterly with that organization. And then the other organization I'm working with is also here in the DMV. They're called Words, Beats, and Life, based out of Washington, D.C. And
nice.
And man, and it's super dope. There's so many dope hip hop artists from the DMV that actually works with them. But what I do with them specifically is I teach music business class. So over the years, it shifted a bit, where I was teaching like different elements of hip hop, mostly emceeing, and then at one point I was teaching production. But I've even taught history of hip hop, and then gone across the country giving lectures and speaking to folks in the school system, sometimes in prisons. So yeah, man, keeping busy, bro.
No question, absolutely. And how has things been given the current climate, pandemic, and all of those type of things, as far as what you've had to do on the education tip, and then as an artist as well?
Yeah, for sure. Man, it's been it's been a bit easier than I think I anticipated, but that's largely because the pivot that I think a lot of people were forced to make because of the pandemic, I was already looking into making a kind of a shift in terms of how I was doing business back in 2017. I started kind of prepping for focusing more on music production and less on rapping. I'm still rapping all the time, and of course now dropping these instrumental projects and doing tracks for other folks, but I knew I'm getting older, man. I'm 42, so realistically I'm not gonna be touring all the time. I'm also an artist who, regardless to how many accolades I've acquired over the years, people just don't know. A lot of people don't know how much I do. Right. And you corny after a while getting out here trying to tell everybody, yo, I did this. I mean, I literally had a record that was number 6 on Billboard last year, bro.
Wow.
Tell everybody what that was too. Let them know.
Right. So yeah, man, I did this project with 40 other artists. It was to raise money for COVID-19, and Doctors Without Borders and stuff early on when this stuff first really started. And so anyway, me, the homie Mason Lieberman, Mega Ran, the homie Zed, Tabani, a bunch of other artists who've sang and done music for various anime and stuff like that, all came together to do a remake or a cover version of Real Folk Blues from Cowboy Bebop. And yo, like, so we
Cowboy
got
Bebop. That's on Cartoon Network and stuff of that, right?
man. That's legendary
That's
anime.
yeah.
Classic joint. Watanabe. Anything Watanabe touches is pretty much classic. So we came together to do that, and then while we were doing it, Mason was like, man, let me reach out to Funimation. He hit up Funimation. Funimation was like, yo, we love the idea. Like, we'd love to put it up on our YouTube channel and promote it through our network once it comes out. Just let us know. And then they hit him back and was like, yo, matter of fact, let us hit up Sunrise, the original company who made it, to see if they would be on board with it. So they reached out to them.
Let's slow this down a little bit. Because you're saying a lot of names that are like, people are like, what are you talking about? For one, what's Funimation?
Yeah.
Sunrise. Like, people got to understand what the severity of that is.
Right. So yeah, for those who don't know, Funimation is like the largest or one of the largest distributors of Japanese animation in the United States, and they've been that for like quite some time. So in that space, like, they are like, who doesn't know? If you say you're a fan of anime and don't know who Funimation is, you're lying. So and then Sunrise is a company out of Japan that has been responsible for like, classics like Cowboy Bebop and many other like amazing like anime over the years. So yeah, man, there's some legendary companies. And so both companies basically was like, yo, we love the idea. Yo, we're on board with this. And then Sunrise hits folks back and was like, yo, matter of fact, we're going to hit up Yoko Kanno, the original composer for all the music for Cowboy Bebop. Wow. We're going to hit her up to see if she's cool with it. They hit her up. She was like, oh my God, I love it. Like, she heard the rough draft. Wow. And then she reached out to the Seatbelts, the people who played all over the project, and they known for that song Tank that starts off the whole show. And then they were like, yeah, we want to play on it. So when I say 40 plus artists, it includes the composer, writer of the song, along with the band that played the song, with the exception of the vocalist who sang it originally. But then on top of that, we were able to get two of the voice actors from the American version, the dub of Cowboy Bebop, and Bo Billingsley and my man, oh my God, I know his name. Steve Bloom. Steve Bloom. So like, I feel like I'm saying this man's name wrong. Oh my God, I know his name. This
the guy, that guy. We'll just call him
I'm gonna get mad. Oh yeah, but yo, so both of them came on it too, and yeah, it came out, and I mean, yo, the joint got like 1.5 million plays on YouTube, and it went #1 on Japan's Amazon charts for rock, and then also it hit number 6 on Billboard for world digital sales. I mean, we sold nearly 3,000 pieces of that single like in 30 days, man, to raise money, and we raised like over 50 grand in a few a few weeks like for the cause. So yeah, man. So like, I just said that's corny when people be running down, but like it's one of them things, like, if I don't tell people a lot of times, people just out here like, oh man, I really wish, you got more. And it's like, I don't necessarily have a huge fan base. I'm not as big as certain artists, but my resume, man, like whenever people, I mean, that's why I did a song called Check My Resume. 'Cause it's like, you might not know, and that's cool if you don't know. I don't expect you to know, because it's like, when I do something with Bentley or Bentley Motors, or I do something with like Ford Motors, or like I just did something with Tesla, when I do these things, it ain't showing up on hip hop blogs, right? Like they're not posting or promoting the fact that, oh, Substantial just did a new, they're not going to do that, because these are major corporations who typically pay for advertising, right? So like, they're not going to promote these things that I've done. And that's okay. I mean, I still got paid. So like, you know what I'm saying?
And that's why you're on this show.
Right.
Y'all know. That's why we have people like you come through. So people could get an understanding of how hip hop touches everything and influences everything, even before the term influencer was even a thing. Like, hip hop was that, and still is that. And you're one of the examples right here, right now, of that. Like, from anime to like major motor corporations.
And like you're saying, C.Truth, like, you mentioned people may not have might not run down you because they probably don't know you like that. However, like, check your resume. Like, you are that essential person. Just that you might not be pushed out commercially. Like, a lot of people don't even know nothing about seatbelts. They might not know anything about sunrise like that. But the ones that do know that they are the real people you got to meet.
Yeah.
You know them at probably just a regular phone call. Like, what's up, y'all? Oh, hey, you want to do this? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And you will also touch millions of people. And you don't even realize who that is you.
Right. Yeah, and I love it from somebody that was raised up on hip hop. I love it when cats that's entrenched in hip hop do things like that cross the board. It's just a beautiful thing. Like you doing the thing with Ford Motors and anime and all that, and Senior Chaos doing things with Nike and all that, and Mega Ran and all these cats. Like, it's a beautiful thing, man. To see that go down.
These animations actually have bigger budgets sometimes in regular movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And promotions.
No, that's real. No, that's super real.
Just people like you behind them and working with them that's making this all happen. And I know people are probably saying, okay, radio boys, C.Truth, Kev Lawrence, ask them, how can somebody do voiceover work and get involved in anime or get connected? So come on, man. You got to say something for the people out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Listen, the best thing you can do is when a convention comes to your town, go. Like, because the thing is, most people who go to anime conventions, comic book conventions, all these different conventions, they're really going there to be customers, right? Like, most of the people in there are going in there to spend money on the things they like and watch or maybe meet some people from the shows they like, pick up some cool stuff, see some cool things, and that's it. But for real, if you're serious about getting into that industry, that's the best place you could be, because these people are there. And unfortunately, I mean, it's not unfortunate. It's okay to be a fan. Like, it's perfectly fine to be a fan. But yo, like, it's also perfectly okay that if these people are present and they do the type of work that you want to do, ask the questions. Like, where should I start? Like, the brother who I mentioned earlier, where I was like making sure I said his name right, and I did, is Steve Bloom. Like, he actually offers like courses or does like workshops for voice act. This dude's a legend. Like, Spike, Mugen, Wolverine, like, this dude has done all of these voices, right? So
I don't think people realize what's happening right here, C.Truth.
Yeah. So if you find out that this dude offers workshops online and you get to work directly with a master, a dude who's been in it since like the 90s, maybe if not before that, like, why wouldn't you? And like, and the thing is, they show up at these conventions. The people on average, when they go to these conventions, they pay almost $100 to get in. And then they might, between food and other stuff that they purchase, they might drop $200 in a weekend just to be at these joints. Right. So, like, if you're going to be there, look at it as an investment in your career. And you really need to look at the panels that they have where, like, sometimes they have the musicians who worked on this music speaking. And honestly, that's how I was able to start making music for like video games. Cause I think now I'm up to like 10 or 12 video games I've done tracks for. Right.
Wow.
And it's, I mean, dude, like, how I got into it, it really was, I started going to cons because my nephew put me on. My nephew was like, Uncle Stan, you need to come with me to this convention this weekend.
Those things are so huge.
Yes, they are.
Many of them. Those things are so huge, man.
They are, man. And it was wild. Like, he was just telling me to come through because I'm the one that introduced him to anime, and he just wanted to have that experience with me. So, man, I went and we had a ball. But what was crazy was people start coming up to me while I was in the convention. They were like, yo, are you substantial? And then my nephew leans over. He was like, yo, like, I don't know if you know, but like, you got a lot of fans in this whole scene. And I was like, I don't understand why. He was like, your man did the music for Samurai Champloo. And I'm like, yo, that's right. I forget this. Like, he's like, yo, he did the music for that show. And people find that show. They go look for more of his music. And then, there's not an album that Nujib has put out that I wasn't on. Right. So they always find me. And so when I would walk up in the cons, they knew who I was. not like it wasn't like droves of people, but a few people would know who I was. So one day we go to a con in Baltimore, Otakon, which is now in DC, and I meet a DJ there, and this dude used to run an anime shop, and he's DJ parties at these joints, put on like little concerts. He brings out people from Japan sometimes to come and perform at these cons. And when he realized who I was, he was like, dude, I could totally like get you on a few stages at these things and maybe do some panels, because people would love to hear like how you worked with Nujabes and how, like, you know, all of that stuff came about. And that was my end. Like the moment, you know, I started out as just a fan, and then I started meeting people at these places who had influence. And now whenever I go, even if I'm booked to go, I spend half my time or maybe a quarter of my time just being a fan, just being a civilian, walking around, enjoying it like everybody else. But now that I had got the inside, like, man, I'll find a few panels where they're talking about things that like I'm trying to do more of. But most importantly, I'll figure out who these people are and then go into a few of these functions that are kind of happening off the grid and rub elbows with people who are doing like composing music for these shows or doing concerts at another convention that's coming up, or people who are the con chairs for like other cons in other cities. And the next thing you know, man, that just started to compound over time, and it just turned into more opportunities, you know?
Absolutely. Definitely, man. Well, listen, we're not going to keep you, but we just wanted people to know about, you know, all the things that you've been doing and the things that you've been touching and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, artist-wise, education-wise, you know, hitting that whole anime world up, and just as a lesson for people to know, you know, how you need to get out here and get the hustle on, like, you know, just do it. Like, you got to get from behind the keyboards and the phones, and, you know, get out there, make those connections and make those contacts if you want to really like progress yourself. You know, people ask us all the time, like, how y'all getting all these people? Because we independent. So it's like, how y'all get these people? How you get all these people on the shows? I was like, yo, we just get at them, like straight at them, straight at them. You know,
that's what's up.
And some do and some don't, but you know,
we rock with the ones that do.
See all the ones that did. You know, we got the resume too of all the ones that did. So you know.
Right.
That's what it is, man.
What's the saying? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Right. Like, so, you know, so I mean, get out there, you shoot your shot, and you know, it usually something will happen. You know what I mean?
That's what it is, and let people know where they can get at you, like all your socials and all that kind of good stuff.
For sure. IamSubstantial.com, and for everything else, most of it is just Substantial Music. That's on YouTube, IG, Facebook, and Twitter is I Am Substantial. But you know, if you can't remember any of that, just Google Substantial with either hip hop or rapper, and I usually will come up.
No question. You know, thank you once again for taking some time out and you know, joining us on the program. We appreciate that.
Thank y'all for thinking of me, man. I appreciate the love over the years.
Yes, indeed. All right, bro. Peace. It's Thermal Sound Waves, a natural alternative to fast food radio. We here, C.Truth, Kev Lawrence. That's what it is.
Thermal Sound Wave.